I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks everyone for being here. It's good to see everybody. Could be a little warmer, but I think we're getting there. Okay, everybody's present except one, which is Mary Beth Schmidt. So we have a quorum, and down to the approval of the agenda. I don't believe we have anything added or to delete. And, okay, so if not, then it's time for public comment. I see we don't have a microphone, so you have to speak loud and clear if there's any public comment. Okay. Now we go to the consent agenda. Mr. Wensley.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda, beginning with letter A, minutes of the March 26, 2013 special meeting of the Board of Trustees. The disbursements for March of 2013. It includes the general fund of the March check register of $393,288.95, and that includes the checks 23,817 through 23,906. We have the escrow fund of disbursements of $3,260 with 3 checks 1517 through 1519. It includes the payroll of $50,916.88. We have the electronic funds transfer to Paycor for $180. The sewer fund, we dispersed $5,661.29. That included just 2 checks, 1888 and 1889. We also, excuse me just a minute here. We also will be designating 2 depositories, Co-America Bank and J.P. Morgan Chase, as our 2 official depositories. We have the official papers of on record, the newspapers on record, South Lyon Herald and the AnnArbor.com paper. And the last item on the consent agenda is the meetings, the official meetings for the Board of Trustees, which are listed in your packet. If I have a second?
Support. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the consent agenda is passed. Okay, down to business items. Appropriations funds for historical interest of our local cemeteries. As most of you know, before we have 3 cemeteries that in the past, I want to say probably for 40 some years, that this township has provided some funds to. We actually had put the appropriate funds of $1,200 into our budget this year. There was in the past some issues about if the township was allowed to designate monies or to give monies to the certain cemeteries for not being designated historical sites by the state. I had asked legal counsel to look into that further to see how the township board could recommend that we continue that, which we have been doing for 40 years to these 3 cemeteries. And one that is historic state certified by the state, which is Salem Walker, and the other 2 not. How could we go about doing that? So the information that has been gathered and presented to us, that if this board would consider feeling that these 2 other cemeteries have historic interest, that the township would be allowed to designate these monies and to continue given to these cemeteries, which is the Warden Cemetery and also the Lappington Cemetery. Most of you probably are aware of these cemeteries that are in our township. Of historic interest, of people dating back to the Civil War, these are precious cemeteries that are in our township. I don't know if many of you have been there, but they are of quite of interest, and my personal feeling is it's something that we should definitely be interested in to keep and preserve these and to keep up. You read some of the information about in the past where cemeteries have been forgotten because of the age of the cemetery or people aren't using them, then it does fall back on the township where we are, I don't want to say forced, but required to help and keep up these if those that are in charge of them now do defunct or aren't keeping them up. So anyway, my motion tonight is to move that Salem Township approve the expenditures of the $1,200 of public funds for activities and projects which advance the historical interest of our township. Do I have a second?
A second.
All right, John Daniel.
Mr. Supervisor, if I could just recommend a friendly amendment in that your motion also include the adoption of the attached resolution with the clerk to identify the numbering of the resolution as appropriate for tonight.
All right, so the resolution number will be 2013-04-09-01.
What was it?
2013-04-09, which is today's date, and then 01.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is passed. Okay, now we go to our big event of the year, the Salem Community Events Flag Day and Fireworks. Mr. Wayne.
Supervisor, I move that we approve the Salem Community Flag Day events and fireworks, and this resolution will be 2013-04-09-02, being that the second resolution of tonight, and grant the request of the Salem Community Events for utilizing the Township Complex and the surrounding adjacent properties for the annual Flag Day scheduled for June the 8th of this summer. Setup for the events will begin June the 7th, and cleanup will be June the 9th. This motion also includes utilizing the wastewater treatment plant site for the annual fireworks on June 8th with a rain date of June the 15th. And just so everyone knows, all necessary licenses and proofs have been provided and the documentation reviewed by the fire department. So we will authorize, this motion also approves the supervisor to sign and issue the permit for approval.
Support, Mr. Supervisor.
All right, any questions? We need a roll call on this, or is this? Let's have a roll call on that.
Converse,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Schmidt is absent. Trent,
Yes.
Wensley, yes. Whitaker?
Yes.
Approved.
All right. Mr. Trent.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that Salem Township approve the executive officials to place RFPs for advertisement in the official papers of record for the following professional services: assessing, auditing, insurance, office cleaning, optical scanning, and also to include the RFP that you have before you at the board table tonight for the fire department bid proposal for the ultra-high pressure skid unit.
have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Mr. Converse seconds.
Mr. Supervisor, if I could just add a brief comment for background information. Also, the board members found at the board table tonight a sample bid RFP for office cleaning. Our current contract with the current contractor or current vendor expires next month in May, and so it would be appropriate for us to have the RFP queued up, ready to go for advertisement in the paper. This is the same template that has been used for the past several years, with the dates modified to provide opportunity for publication in the paper over the next couple of weeks, and also to allow vendors to come to the Township complex on a proposed date of April 29th. Mr. Wensley and I worked in concert on getting the dates queued up so that somebody can be here to facilitate that walkthrough with potential bidders, with bids to be received by May 6th and then opened the following day with the Board of Trustees to review those bids at our meeting in May. A similar RFP will be provided to the board for the other professional services that are included in the motion. The assessing contract that we currently have with our current provider is scheduled to conclude, I believe, in June or July this year. Auditing will be complete after the audit is conducted later this year. And then optical scanning and the high-pressure bid for the fire department are new opportunities that can go out as soon as RFPs are completed and put in the paper for advertisement. Obviously, all of these will come back to the board at the appropriate time for final approval. But then again, this is just part of the normal process of reassessing our vendors periodically, taking an opportunity to assess the marketplace and see if we can get a reduction in price or an improvement in service.
We have a second?
Yeah. I'll second it.
Dale, second.
Dale, okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion on this? Now, in the past, David, since you've been here before for a long time, so all these, how do we, and you advertise in the paper, but other than the paper, do we advertise these in a newsletter, or there's other ways of advertising these services to get people to know that these are out there to bid on?
What we typically do is people that have bid on these projects in the past are part of what we call our vendor list, so they would be contacted to let them know that the opportunity is there to bid as well.
So we have a list of,
Through advertisement, vendor list, or identifying potential vendors that we've been in contact with in the past to enable them the opportunity to bid. As long as they get their bids in before the deadline, those are opened and reviewed by our executive officials who will bring them back. Some of these other scenarios may require the executive officials to incorporate other individuals into the review process, such as office staff. And, those will be identified as we go down the road over the course of the year. And there may be other professional services that may come before the board too for approval of RFPs as we go throughout this calendar year. But these are the ones that have been identified up to this point, including the fire department proposal.
okay. All right, any other discussion? All right, if not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to move that we, let me get to the right part of my board packet here. Supervisor, I'd like to move that Salem Township approve waiving the bid policy requiring 3 bids and renew the lawn maintenance services contract for 2013 to Ultra Unlimited Services at a cost of $3,350 for the bid proposal specifications plus $35 for each weeding as specified in their proposal.
I'll second that.
Mr. Winsley seconds it. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, last year Ultra Limited did the lawn maintenance for us. They did a very good job. Last year their price was $3,150. In discussion with Ms. Bell, who's the proprietor of Ultra Unlimited, with the price of gas having gone up significantly in the last 2 years, she asked for a modest price increase. I thought it was an appropriate amount. And being that she is a township resident, and we do try to defer business to our local residents when we can, I thought it was appropriate for us to waive the bid policy, not go out for bid, and extend the contract to her for this coming lawn maintenance season. And she was we did go out for bid last year, and she was the lowest bidder at $31.50. The contractor we had the year prior had increased their bid significantly from what it was the year before. So.
And they do a good job, and the snow removal's been good too, and anytime we call her, she's right on it, so I appreciate that. All right, any other discussion about this? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Okay, we got down to the clerk's report as submitted. So now we're down to board discussion. What I would like to bring up a little bit of discussion tonight is about our park again. What I have talked to some people about as far as our park, which is Salem Veterans Park, what I would like to propose is that we not rename the park, but the park, as we all know, many years ago, I don't remember how many years ago that was started, but it was named Village Green, and the prior administration decided to change it to Veterans Park, Salem Veterans Park, which is a great honor to our veterans, and I believe that's great and honorable, and I believe we definitely want to keep that in place. But my discussion with the board tonight is I would like to make a proposal that we also include back to Village Green, which if you look at the sign, there's a bullet thing down near the end of the sign where it says Salem Veterans Park, and then we can insert there to say Village Green. And the reason why I bring this up is that when I became supervisor, the file that was left for me is a thick file of the hard work and efforts that a former supervisor, Mr. Ruperti, had put a lot of effort into starting that park, and I believe that we should honor him in a way that to bring the Village Green back, which he was a part of finding and bringing some beautification and that beautiful park that we have over there that we can look at and use. And the thing that I was most impressed about was of 100% that I can see through the park that was created over there was given by donations to many of Salem residents and companies throughout our township. And not, one money, it was spent by, or money was given by donations, and he put a lot of hard work to that, and I think it'd be good for this township to offer to to put that back up on there as Village Green, and also to have some kind of a small plaque in honoring Fred at his age that he's getting and having some health issues, to honor him during Flag Day, of the founder of our park. And so I think that it would be a great thing for to do to honor him and through that beautiful park that we have. So it's just a matter of discussion. You know, we can make a motion tonight to move forward with it. All the funds that would be changing the sign and also for the plaque would be also donated and not use the township funds. It'd be just by donations of people that would like to give to this effort to honor Fred.
Mr. Supervisor? I share your sentiments, and I appreciate you bringing this item forward for board discussion. I remember last year having been an integral part of the planning with former trustee Walsey and the dedication of the monument and the flagpole and the renaming of the park. And we had a great program that was put together that we were able to springboard off of the Salem Community Events program that they do every year in honoring the Grand Marshal and a citizen that they put forward every year as the Grand Marshal and recognize that individual. And I think this would provide us the opportunity to have a similar type of program where we could honor Mr. Roberty for his efforts in bringing that park forward and the vision that he had, and the enjoyment that all of us have as citizens of this community for every Flag Day and the other special events that are held there, not only by Salem Community Events but others. And also pay tribute again to our veterans. I think we ought to try to utilize the Flag Day occasion annually to have some sort of program where we pay tribute to our veterans, as well as maybe have the opportunity to recognize another individual in the community over and above the person that the Salem Community Events designates for the Grand Marshal. So obviously we can review that year by year, but I think this is a good opportunity for us to move forward and recognize the efforts of Mr. Roberty in helping lay the foundation for this park that we currently enjoy.
Is it Roberty or Ruperty? I mean,
Roberty.
all right.
Have we figured out how much we would need to raise for what you're thinking?
Well, first of all, it won't be a grave, a headstone like we have out here for Mr. Rora. It's funny with the headstone out there. Many people say, "Well, when did he die?" And poor Furman, he's still having a pop at the store. So, but no, it would be much more of a smaller plaque, and I'm really not sure, but I'm sure it will be taken care of by those that feel that this would be a great honor and to do ever, to have that and to do that for Fred.
So what's his name gonna be?
So, what do you think? Anybody got more comments about it? Any discussion, or is it something you want to do? You want to I can make a motion now, or we can wait till next meeting?
Mary,
Yeah, Tom.
could you please clarify what the name was, what it was changed to, and what you want it to be?
Okay, it was Village Green when the park was first founded and started. And then we changed, I believe it was last year, we changed it to, right now it is Salem Veterans Park. And so that will still stay the same, but underneath it, you'll see a little bullet thing by established or Salem Township. When it was established, that can be taken off and put on there Village Green. So it'll just be underneath the Salem Veterans Park. And then we can still put the date up near the top. So,
We'll know what the name is.
Sounds
All right.
kind of confusing to me, like maybe the name should be something like Salem Veterans Memorial Park at Village Green or on the?
Yeah, if you
Village
go out there
Green?
and look at it, it's,
Salem's not a
it
village.
kind of falls just like I say, right underneath it, it's a big space underneath it and just say Village Green. And I think it goes along with our veterans and it does seem to flow if you go out there and look at it.
Okay, thanks.
All right? Yep, oh, I'm sorry.
Gary, I think there is a plaque already with Mr. O'Peardy's name on it.
Is there?
In being honored. It was about this big. I don't know.
Well, maybe we can find it.
Yeah, I don't know
All
where
right.
it went to. It may still be there. I don't know if it's still on there. Is it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh.
So,
You check that out
We'll
pretty
look at it.
quickly.
thank you. Okay.
So you might not have to spend as much.
Right.
That's
Right.
correct.
Right.
It's very good.
Yeah, and Mr. Supervisor, I see we have the president of the Salem Community Events Organization here, and I would presume that we would have the liberty of, springboarding off of what you folks pulled together like we did last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there would be no issues with that at all, and mentioned before, we've had, last year we had some extra chairs that you needed for it, if you need that. We can work the same thing, basically, they ordered it through the same people that we ordered the tents through, but the township paid for the chairs. We had some issues with our group doing that for the township, so we would ask to do the same thing if you need chairs.
Okay. Or you can use my chairs. Okay. All right, you can use my chairs.
Could we use your chairs?
Yes, sir. Done deal. All right, you want me to make a motion now, or is it something you want to?
Go right ahead.
All right. All right, I move that Salem Township, the renaming of Salem Veterans Park to Salem Veterans Park Village Green, and to honor former Salem Township Supervisor Fred Purdy with a plaque to be placed near the gazebo area. The plaque will be presented after Salem Community Events Flag Day program on June 8, 2013, along with a tribute to our veterans. And of course, this will be also, the signage and the plaque will be provided through private donations. So, I have a second on it. Okay, Dale Converse. Any other discussions? Okay, we need a roll call on that, or just, all right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion's passed. Okay, we're down to public comment. It's 7:30.
The flag in the park is not lighted correctly.
Okay,
The light goes lower than the flag itself. It should be aimed higher. So that really should be checked into, because that's a requirement that the flag be lighted properly.
since it's so early, the other comment I have is, does the township get called every time it's supposed to be at half-mast, or is that,
That's something that I'd like to follow up. The governor's office does send out an email when they give jurisdiction for authorization, because the governor can lower the flag for half-mast. And so all you need to do is get on that mailing list, and it will tell you for those occasions when they do need to be lowered at half-mast. I think, not just there, but over here
Right.
at the town halls, something.
I've seen
as
some
you-
sometimes through other townships, and I'm thinking, well, I'm wondering if we're supposed to be.
I'll take that for action and see if
All
we
right.
can work that out.
You can check with Carol too. I think she was on that email list, but if you can confirm that, Chief, that would be greatly appreciated.
Be happy.
All right, any other public comment?
I did have one thing. We've had 2 brush fires just recently with these high winds, and one was 10 acres from an uncontrolled bonfire, and we had one just recently, I think it was 2 days ago, where we believe it was a cigarette thrown off the side of a car, and it got into the ditch, and our first arriving small vehicles had it 40 feet in diameter and trying to do it with the little fire extinguishers. By the time our first truck got there, it was an acre involved. So with the dryness out there, even though you see the rain, we've got a lot of dry vegetation that's just below the wet ground. Please watch your fires, and on these windy days, these last weekends, we've had these fronts come through, and like today, you've noticed these warm fronts, they bring a tremendous amount of wind. Please refrain from burning, because that 10-acre one, we were definitely worried about impinging people's houses, and it was covering the freeway, which, you know, you run the risk of having an accident out there. So we've got a lot of burn permits that are coming in for people because the spring's arrived. I think everybody's ready for spring. But be careful with that. We don't want to burn anybody's houses down, and it's, we've had some pretty bad weather for burning capabilities. So please use due caution when you're out there burning. Thank you.
Was there any property damage?
It was a field, so somewhat that helps, I believe, some of the vegetation when you burn off that old stuff. Not property damage that occurred, but just field burning.
Okay, anybody else? All right, public comments closed. Mr. Daniel?
I move that the Salem Township Board of Trustees goes into closed session, pursue the MLC 15.268 to consider the purchase of real property, conservation easement rights, members of the Land Preservation and Conservation Board, consultant Barry Bonnie, and legal counsel to attend.
Support.
All right. Need a roll call on that?
Converse,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yep.
McLaughlin,
Yep.
Schmidt is absent, sorry. Trent,
Yes.
Isla, yes. Whitaker,
Yes. All right, we'll take about a short hour break.
This is a record.